Why is it still making a sound? Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. This is Skip Eltheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. Brought to you from beautiful downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. For some reason, the light is red today. Webcam is deciding that everything is red. I can tweak that. Anyways, we just watched a Black Hawk film. Black Hawk was a film collector's kind of film company. So someone who is very excited about collecting old silent films and then re-releasing them for the home market and for other collectors. So that was an old silent film featuring Helen. Helen shows up. She's a heroine in a couple of different these little shorts. And this was, someone asked if this was on 8mm. A lot of Black Hawk prints were on 8mm, but this was actually on 16. And Black Hawk did release stuff on 16. Anyways, let's see. What do we got lined up here? I've shown Telezonia from the 70s, but I don't think I've shown it from the 40s. This is features a marionette, and I can't remember his name. It's not Telly. Telly is what the name of the weird AT&T man-child that steals children in the 1970s version, but this is Telly telling us about the importance of the telephone and how it can help in the neighborhood. Enjoy.
Know me, I help you use your telephone. Somebody making a call.
And send me 2 bunches of celery and a loaf of bread.
Somebody hungry.
Thank you. I'll send it right over.
I'm so glad I found you in, Doctor.
Oh, somebody sick.
Well, there's no need to worry. I'll be right over.
That's right, all the way around. Now take your finger out.
Hello, Mom. Can I go to Johnny's and stay a while?
Somebody thoughtful.
All right, Tommy. Then I won't worry.
Well, folks, as I was saying... Ouch! That's not the way to use the telephone.
Bones? Here, Bones? Oh, Bones.
He must have lost his dog. Hey, Bobby, let me help you.
Who are you?
Take it easy, fella. My name's Handy. Maybe I can help you. Now, what's your trouble?
Well, I lost my dog, Bounce, and nobody's home but me. I whistled for him, and I tried to telephone my mother.
You just didn't do it right, Bobby. It's easy if you do it right. Now, don't worry. You want to find your dog, don't you? Yeah. Well, I've found lots of dogs. You know, I find cats, too.
You do? How?
It's easy. Why, in Telezonia, where I come from...
Telezonia? Well, where's that?
That's where I'm taking you, Bobby.
That's right. Always call home first if you're in trouble.
Well, hello, Handy. Who's this?
This is Bobby, and he's lost his dog.
Lost dog case, huh? Well, Bobby, what kind of a dog is he?
Well, he's brown and shaggy. His eyes are black as coal. He's always smiling, and he's liable to go almost anywhere.
All right, let's get going. Attention, stations. Have you told your mother?
Well, she's at my grandmother's.
Do you know the number? Are you sure you know the right number?
Oh, yes, I called there lots of times.
Ready? You get the number and call her on the dial telephone.
Who's that?
That's Always Listen. He reminds us not to dial until we hear the humming sound. Huh? That's the dial tone. See? All the way down to the finger stop. Now let the dial go back. That's what you didn't do right at home, Bobby. Want to see what happens when you dial? These machines put through your call, but bring the dial all the way around or the machines won't get the number you want. Do you know what that sound is, Bobby?
Sure, that's Grandma's telephone ringing. Gee, nobody answers.
Let's give them plenty of time. They may be in some other part of the house.
We waited about a minute.
Then we've given them plenty of time to answer. Think. Where else might we call your mother?
We might try Mrs. Hill.
Do you know the number?
I'm not sure, but I think that it's,
Better be sure. Let's look in the directory. If you use the wrong number, you won't get the person you want.
Lots of people named Hill.
on Elm Street.
Here's the number.
You hear that sound, Bobby?
It means somebody is talking on the other telephone.
That's right. The line is busy. And when you hear the busy signal, you should hang up right away. Let's wait a few minutes before we make the call again.
Well, while we're waiting, let's call the dog catcher. Oh, Bobby, the dog catcher will help us. We often find lost dogs there. Will you call the dog catcher, please?
Well, there isn't any dial.
In some places, telephones don't have dials.
Number, please.
When you pick up a telephone without a dial, a light tells the operator you want to make a call.
Number, please.
When you give her the number,
Thank you.
she puts through your call.
The operator's your friend. Remember to be nice to her. She's always nice to you.
Thank you.
City Dog Pound, Mr. Wagner speaking. Bounce, eh? I'll take a look. Shall I call you back? All right, then. Hold the line. I'll look. Bounce. 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 I'm sorry we don't have your dog. Sure, I'll be glad to call you back if he shows up.
Bounce isn't there. Where else could he be?
The butcher. Sometimes he goes there for a bone. I think the number...
Better look it up. Remember, if we call a wrong number, we just waste time and bother somebody, too.
I got it. I got a number. There's a way to find every dog down the telephone book. I'm here. Here, boy, here, Bobby, loves a dog, and we had to find out what? Oh, yes, it's very important.
Oh, no, mumble voice, take that candy out of your mouth. You'll never help that way. They can't tell what you're saying.
I said I want to hurry up. I want to call a dog catcher. For big little dogs.
Don't mumble. Speak so people can tell what you're saying. And straight into the mouthpiece, too.
The red dog, and we... What? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Main line, 4,
Operator can't understand what you're saying.
Operator, I want you to help us because we're going to try to find a cute little dog there. Maybe it's going to say a cute little dog that ran away and it'll just...
Main 9, 4456. Yes, please.
Why, yes. Bounce was here a few minutes ago. Yes. I saw him going toward the hill.
He was? Gee, then maybe he's over by the highway. Jimmy lives over that way. Let's call him. Maybe he's seen Bounce.
That's right. You help us on the party line.
What's a party line?
A party line? A party line is like a tree. With his neighbor. One at a time.
Hello, yes, just a minute, I'll call him. Jimmy?
Hello? Gee, I thought I heard a dog bark. I'll look outside and see.
Hold the line.
We better call back. Party line, you know. Phelps may want to use the line.
Nothing at all. Haven't got a thing to do. Just thought I'd call up and kill a little time, you know what I mean?
Someone is using the line.
It isn't nice to bother them while they're talking. Let's wait a while.
Maybe they're through now.
He's still talking.
I've used the line. Get off. Get off. You can call when I finish.
I'm sorry.
Well, get off. Get off, get off, get off the line. Who does she think she is? Well, anyway, as I was saying, as I was sitting around with nothing to do, trying to decide whether to nap or sit up and rest or so, well, I decided it wasn't.
It's that
How can anybody be so selfish?
And just when we found Bounce.
Oh, better call Jimmy again.
Go away, Gateway. Here I come. I'm gonna find it. Let me do it. Let me do it. I'm gonna find Bounce. I'm gonna find little Dolly. Operator, you do what I say, operator.
They can't understand what you're saying. You'll never find Bounce that way.
Rudeness never gets you anywhere, either.
Do what I say. You better help me. You better help me. I don't care what you had. I don't care what you had. I don't care if a fight.
Stop! You've wasted enough time. Besides, when people can't see your face, they judge your manners by your voice. This is the way people think you look.
That my voice? Oh. People must think I'm awful.
We have to make that call. It's so easy if you do it right.
I can do it now. Let me call Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy. It's Bobby. Yes. Sure. Bring him right home. I found Bounce. Aw, Handy. Aw, Handy.
Nothing at all, Bobby. Nothing at all. If you ever need me, I'm right here. Now remember, anytime you need me,
I mean, maybe you don't like Bill Baird's puppets, marionettes. He did a couple of things for AT&T, and I think he also did things for, like, he definitely did cigarette ads, so those characters show up in some cigarette ads, but I love it. One of the things I love about it is the concept of the party line. We've talked about this. I have a film, another Bill Baird AT&T film called Party Line, that basically talks about the logistics of sharing a line with your neighbors so that you have like 4 or 5 people on one line. And that was a cost saving measure for not only the telephone company, but also for everybody involved. And how I had to deal with that, like when we moved to North Carolina, and basically our neighbor's toddler would take the phone off the hook. So we'd pick up the phone, and we could kind of hear the toddler in the distance, but we couldn't make a call, so we'd have to run across the street, knock on the door, say, hey, could you hang up the phone? And then we would do that. So, time to watch something from our Telezonia, the film transfer machine that we have back here. This is a Coronet film, because we've been digitizing a bunch of Coronet films. This one's beat red, not beautiful Kodachrome. This is a print, so this also got crazy scratches. But this is Beginning Responsibility, Using Money Wisely.
No, none of these things will make this parking meter work. It takes a nickel. It takes money. It takes money, too, to buy the things in this furniture store. Like a new desk or a new bed. Sometimes it takes more money than we have. You just can't trade the bubble gum and the marbles in your pockets for the furniture in this store. Now, sometimes things can be traded. You might be able to trade a piece of bubble gum for a ride in a friend's racer, if you happen to have a friend with a racer who wants a piece of bubble gum. But trading doesn't always work. You may be willing to trade some of that bubble gum for the glass coffee maker to give your mom for her birthday. But the man in the hardware store just may not be interested in that gum. That's why money was invented. It's easier for everyone to exchange money for the different things they want. The world is filled with all sorts of things that you can get with money. You could even exchange money for one of these trains, if you had enough. But do you have that much money in your bank at home? Well, you have some. And where did you get that money in the first place? From Mom and Dad. That's one place you get it from. This is money you were able to save from your weekly allowance. For this allowance money, perhaps you're expected to do certain extra things, like helping with groceries, or helping to keep the garage neat. This money you got for helping take care of your neighbor's lawn this summer. And with this birthday card from Aunt Clara, you got still more money. $1, just for being 1 year older. But where did they get the money to give you? Well, Aunt Clara is paid money for the time she spends and the work she does teaching school. Other people get their money for doing other things. The dentist is paid for his special knowledge about our teeth. The baker for his special skill in baking bread. Many people are paid for selling things. But whatever kind of work people do, they trade their time and their skills for money. And then they trade that money for the different things they want or need. So Tom's allowance money from his dad is part of the money his dad earns for the work he does. The money Tom gets from his neighbor for helping with the lawn is part of the money his neighbor earns for the work he does selling cars. Part of the money Aunt Clara gets for teaching school, she sends to Tom as a birthday present. But when you put it all together, you still can't buy everything you want. Wouldn't it be nice if things were different? Wouldn't it be nice if your allowance were bigger? Wouldn't it be nice if your neighbor paid you more for taking care of his lawn? Wouldn't it be nice if all your relatives sent you money for your birthday? But these things don't usually happen. Why not? Well, let's take Tom's dad as an example and see why not. He gets just so much money each week for the work he does. This is his paycheck, which he will exchange for that money. Dad puts some of that money in a bank. Then he can write checks of his own to pay other people for things his family needs. Some of the most important things he pays for are clothes for his family, and food. Sometimes there are medicines to buy and doctor bills to pay. Electricity for the house costs money, and the house itself costs money. And so does gas for the family car. Some of the money Tom's dad earns is used to pay taxes. Taxes from many people pay for big things, like streets and schools, things that are too expensive for one family to pay for alone. And finally, part of the money Dad earns is put away and saved. Dad may need some of this money later for things he didn't plan on, like an expensive repair job on the car. After Dad has paid the money for all the things the family needs and put some away in savings, he pays allowances. Is there any money left over after that? Not enough for Dad to buy that new car he wishes he could have. Not enough to buy that new bed and desk and lamp for your room. But perhaps if he saves the money that's left over each week for enough weeks, then there will be enough to buy one of these more expensive things. But which should it be? The boys are getting too big for their old beds, and a desk would make it easier to do schoolwork. But then, wouldn't it be nice to have a shiny new car? Dad doesn't have enough money to buy everything he wants, just as you may not have enough money to buy everything you want. So you have to make choices, and you want to make these choices carefully. You don't have enough money to buy the most expensive train in the store. But then you could choose one that's less expensive, but almost as good. Then you could have your train and still have money left over to go back to the hardware store and get the glass coffee maker for your mother's birthday. By not spending all your money on just one thing, you can have money left over for other things you may want or need. There are more things in the world to buy than most people have money for. So, choices have to be made. Different people, of course, will choose different things. But learning to use money means learning to make the best possible choices for your family and for you.
I love films that explain the concepts of money and economics and budgeting to kids. It's really kind of fascinating because, you know, we have the ability, because we're all mostly adults, and we're all like, I don't think that's right. Or, yeah, painfully, unfortunately, that is right. Let's see. What do I want to show you next? I got lots of things I can show you. That's going to run a little long. Here's a a weird cartoon about William Tell.
Long, long ago, the country of Switzerland in Europe was ruled by the Duke of Austria. In one part of Switzerland, there was a road that led over the beautiful snow-capped mountains of the Alps. The road was important, for many people used it to reach cities and market towns. Austrian soldiers had been sent to guard the road with strict orders to collect a fee for use of the road from each and every traveler who used it. All the money that was collected found its way into the strongbox of the Duke of Austria's governor. His name was Hermann Gessler. He was a cruel man who ruled by forcing people to do his bidding. From the poor Swiss people, he demanded high taxes, which the people had great trouble in paying. And when the people could pay no more, Gessler became furious. He would order his soldiers to put the people to work, building a great castle for Gessler. But there was one man in Switzerland who was not afraid of Gessler. He raised goats and was called a goatherd. His name was William Tell. There were 4 things William Tell loved. First, his fine flock of sure-footed goats. Second, his strong and trusty crossbow, for Tell was a skilled hunter and marksman. Third, and much more important, William Tell loved his son Walter. And fourth, Tell loved freedom. Freedom for himself and his son to live as they wished. Freedom to show Walter the wonders of his country. How proud William Tell was of his son. Walter was so gentle. Even the timid creatures of the forest would eat from his hand. And Walter was so strong. He could handle a heavy crossbow all by himself. But he wasn't very good at target practice. Walter would either aim too high or too low, too much to the left or too much to the right. Even with the most famous archer in all Switzerland for a father, he just couldn't hit the bullseye. William Tell was disappointed, but one day, watching Walter tend the flock of goats, the famous archer thought to himself, everyone should be free to do what they can do best. I can use the crossbow better than any man in Switzerland, but my son is interested in other things. He's so kind and loving. All the animals know he's their friend. Yes, Walter will make a better goatherd than I could ever be. That night, William Tell told Walter he would never have to practice with the crossbow again. Walter was glad to hear it. To tell the truth, he was just a little bit afraid of the crossbow. So, each free to do the things he could do best, father and son passed their days. But many of the Swiss people were not as free. Hundreds worked at building Gessler's castle, worked because they could no longer pay the high taxes, worked until every bone in their bodies ached. Gessler's soldiers saw to that. And in the village, where he made his headquarters, was the tyrant Gessler. He was in an ugly mood. He wanted to teach the Swiss people a lesson that would show them that he was the complete master of their lives. Yes, a lesson for them all. As the next morning dawned, the villagers awakened to see a strange sight. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Right in the middle of the village square, there was a pole. A tall, tall, tall pole. And at the top of it was a cap. Gessler's cap. The soldiers shouted to the people, "Bow down! Bow down to the cap of Gessler!" The people were terribly frightened and did as they were told. Soon the square was filled with people bowed down before the cap of the hated tyrant, Gessler. Now on that very day, William Tell and Walter came to the village. Both William Tell and his son were surprised to behold the sight of a square full of people bowing down to a cap of all things. Almost at once, Gessler's soldiers stopped them, crying, "You there, bow down to the cap." Again the soldiers cried, "Bow down to Gessler's cap." But William Tell replied, "I will never bow down to the tyrant Gessler himself, much less his dirty cap." At that moment, Gessler appeared. Gessler was quickly told of William Tell's defiance. Gessler was furious. Quietly, Gessler himself ordered William Tell to bow down before the cap. Gessler grew angrier and angrier. "Seize that boy," he ordered. Slowly, the people raised their heads. They heard Gessler snarl, "You are insolent, William Tell, and I could easily have you jailed. But I am too kind a man to do that. Instead, you shall perform a task of skill. You are an excellent shot with the crossbow, I have heard. I have also heard that you love your son more than anything else in the world. The boy will be freed, as you shall be, if you can shoot this apple off your son's head at a distance of 50 paces. I can't, thought William Tell. I can't risk hurting Walter. An apple is much too small a target. But Walter shouted that he was not afraid of the test. After all, wasn't his father the best archer in Switzerland? All right then, William Tell would do it, for his and Walter's freedom. A hush fell over the square as William Tell reached for an arrow inside his cloak and fitted the razor-sharp arrow into the crossbow. Carefully, the great archer took aim and then lowered the bow. What if he should miss the apple and kill his own son? From now on, Gessler thought, these people would know who their ruler was. Then Walter called out, "Shoot, father, shoot! I am not afraid." Again, William Tell raised his weapon. Again, he took aim. Straight and true the arrow flew. William Tell had saved his son. The evil Gessler had been outwitted. So, murmured the Swiss people, if the Tells were not afraid of Gessler, why should the rest of the people of Switzerland fear him? As Walter was released, an arrow from under William Tell's cloak dropped to the ground. Gessler asked, "What was that for?" "That arrow was to put in your heart, Gessler, if I had harmed my son." The people were greatly impressed with William Tell's brave speech, while Gessler was frightened by it. Now the tyrant knew that it would not be long before the Swiss people rose up against their enemies and forced them out of Switzerland. William Tell knew this too, and it wasn't long before his country, Switzerland, was free and independent. Gessler and his soldiers were forced to leave by the road they had come to guard. And so, William Tell had taught the Swiss people and everyone a lesson never to be forgotten. Tyrants must back down before men who will not bow down.
Have you ever wandered through a second-hand bookshop? It's quite an experience. You never know what you're likely to find. Maybe Bill can find a book that he would like. Perhaps this one. No, guess not. What about that one? Looks kind of shabby. Maybe because it was read a lot.
Were many killed at Lexington? No, not many. They stood up. Just a handful. The British fired on them. It was dawn. Johnny licked his lips. Did they tell you the names of those killed?
It looks like an exciting book about the American Revolution. How much is it? Only 25 cents. Bill has enough. Now, if Dad'll just let him get it. It's okay with Dad. It looks like a good buy. It's a pity, though, to see a book looking like this, especially when you think of all that goes into making a book. The writing of a book, any book, usually takes an author a year or more. And then there's the artist who does the drawings. Editors who have to organize the materials. And printers who set the type and run the presses. The pages are printed, folded, gathered, assembled, stitched, and covered. Here's the way Bill's book looked when it was new. What could have happened to make it look like this? Bill's teacher wants to know. Bill has brought his book to school to show the class. David thinks he knows one thing that might have happened. Maybe whoever had the book before Bill was careless and left it on the ground while playing. Maybe that's how the cover got torn. Margaret has another idea. Maybe someone took the book outside one day when it was raining and didn't think to cover it. Jim thinks that maybe it was left near the edge of a table where it could have been accidentally knocked off. Other things may have happened to it. Perhaps someone forgot to wash his hands, or may have been eating while reading the book, leaving food stains. Someone else may have left the book where a baby brother or sister could get hold of it. Babies don't know how to take care of books. Pets can damage a book, too. Once a book has become worn or damaged, what can be done to repair it? Perhaps Miss Walker, the librarian, can help. Bill's been working as an assistant in the library with other students. They're all interested in learning how to repair a book. And Bill's book certainly needs repair. Let's see what can be done. First, the torn pages. The sooner they're fixed, the less likely they are to be torn further or to be lost. A special kind of tape is used that doesn't have a shiny surface, so it's almost invisible when placed on the page. Also, this kind of tape won't get sticky or turn yellow. Both sides of the tear are taped to make the page secure. Once the tears are mended, there's the matter of food stains and pencil marks. These are best removed with a large, soft eraser. It's rubbed over the page lightly to take out the stains and pencil marks, but not the print. Cleaning the pages and mending them makes quite an improvement. But the cover is still shabby and torn. Miss Walker can fix the tear with another kind of tape, cloth tape. This tape is strong and will stick tightly to the cover. Now there's just one more thing to help the book stay in good condition. Using heavy paper, you can make a dust jacket to protect a book. A cover takes only a few minutes to make, but it will help protect the book and make it look better. If you make a jacket for one of your books, you may want to paste a picture on the cover. It's also a good idea to put a label on the back, giving the title and author. That makes an attractive, durable cover. Here's another book covered with clear plastic. That's what Miss Walker uses on many of the books in the library. There are many other things that these boys and girls have learned to do to care for the books they use. They always leave the big dictionary open They never try to close it. That's so the spine, the back of the book, is always flat against the stand. If the dictionary were opened and closed each time it was used, the spine would be raised off the table, supporting the full weight of the pages by itself. This could tear the spine or break it. These pupils also read other heavy books with the spines resting flat against the table when they open and close them. And they are especially careful how they turn large pages so as not to tear them. Kathy is going to put a book back on the shelf. She finds that the books are tightly packed. Will she try to force her book in between them? No. Forcing books together may tear pages or bend a cover. Miss Walker will make room by moving some of the books to another shelf. She's careful how she handles them and only removes a few books at a time so that she doesn't drop or tear them. When people take good care of books, they last for a long time. Think about that when using your books. A little bit of extra care can bring years of extra enjoyment.
So for those of you who have been following, you've been making suggestions on what I should play next. We're running a little late, but what I'll just say is thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Colin, for the coffee. That's a great way to say thank you for what we're doing. You can buymeacoffee.com/AV Geeks. You can also hit like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, share, all that stuff. That's great. And finally, you can go to avgeeks.com and see other stuff that we have online and buy DVDs. So this is from Magnificent Major, and it is a counterpoint to what we just saw. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Take care.
What, may I ask, is a dear little cupcake like you doing with nasty old school books? My dear child, we haven't had school or books in ages.
No school? Really?
Why don't you get rid of that school book? You can drop them in here.
It'll get all burned up in there.
Well, of course it will, dear child. And so it should. Books tamper with man's basic, natural ignorance. Now, what could be worse than that?
But I can't burn this book. It's school property.
Nonsense! Apple sugar. You just need to get into the mood.
Books are not where it's at, teaching you how to spell cat. I know you'd rather play, so why don't you throw all your books away? Books are made for burning, the fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
1, 3, 5, 9, throw them in the fire's fine.
Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. Burning books is our heart's desire.
2, 4, 6, 8, time to incinerate.
Books will not make you wise, and reading's bad for your eyes. I am sure you agree, so why don't you give all your books to me? Books are made for burning, fire is already yearning to put an end to any learning.
This one here is very good about a man named Robin Hood.
Put the books in the fire, see the flames growing higher. confuse, teaching you things you can't use. You should listen to me.